My name is Rick Martin, and welcome to the Growing Nebraska Summit. I'm actually from Ohio. I'm a friend of Mike Boehm, and I'm going to be the MC today. So, welcome. We've got over 400 people here today, about two-thirds from inside the university and about a third from the rest of the great state of Nebraska. You're going to hear from a wide variety of people on a wide variety of issues that are important and critical to Nebraska. And you're also going to get an opportunity to meet people, to connect with other people, to offer some ideas. And that's what we want today to be about. Throughout the day, we'll have some table conversations. There'll be an opportunity for you to answer some questions electronically. When we get to that point, there'll be instructions on the screen. It's basically just texting to a number and answering a couple of questions. You'll notice that there's a fishbowl or a glass container on your table. That's an opportunity for you to, if you want to connect or if you want somebody from the university to reach out to you at some point around something, write your name on a piece of paper, offer your idea, your question. If you want to do it anonymously, don't write your name. But it's just it's another way to connect. So I think that's it for the day. I'm going to be sort of the timekeeper, so I'm going to try to keep people on track. That might be a challenge, but that's going to be my job. And I would say have fun, connect with your fellow Nebraskans. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mike Boehm, who's going to set up the rest of the day.
Well, good morning. I absolutely could not be more thankful, more humbled, and honored that you're here with us today. This was an idea, I think it was day 42 on the job, that I said to my team, find the largest venue you can outside of Memorial Stadium or the Pinnacle Bank Arena here or in Omaha, CenturyLink, and I want to have a conversation. And it'll be something around advancing, growing Nebraska. And they looked at me, did what I asked, and then all the way through till July, Jesse Brophy, who helped pull this off, kept asking, are you sure? Should we cancel? Are you sure? And so what we have today is really a forum. I think this is maybe the first of its kind. I know that this is the first of its kind that the Institute of Ag and Natural Resources has had anything to do with, but Nebraskans coming together to talk about things that matter. This is, I'm learning, this is an amazing state. The people are values-driven with a nice twist of being practical, and we know each other, and that's probably most days a really strong benefit and less of a detractor. So today is really about being a Nebraskan. Rick did cross out Nebraskan and put Ohio in, but we won't hold that against him. He got in 1 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock his time yesterday morning, so it was a pretty late night. I do want to recognize this is in the military. When I was in uniform, we always talked. Hank was in the military. By the way, would all of our veterans, would you please stand, or if you have loved ones serving in the military, Veterans Day is Saturday. Just let's thank our veterans. But we would always say, you leave your collar weight at the door. So this is about being individuals. The name tags, I'm really curious to see where you said you're a Nebraskan from. And I'm a plant pathologist, not a psychologist, but I'm interested in what color you used. I happen to use green since we're growing Nebraska. I do want to say just at the onset that we have, as Rick mentioned, 441 folks from 73 towns and cities from 51 counties. 93 counties, we have 51 counties represented, which is just really fantastic. As Rick mentioned, a third of you, a third of us today are not from the university, although you may be an alum, you may have a connection. We have individuals from NGOs, we have state, we have even federal representation through a representative from Senator Deb Fisher's office. We have two senators, Joni Albrecht and Tom Brewer, that are here. We have representatives from Roy Baker's office and from Senator Lydia Brosh's office. We have President Hank Bounds from the NU system, which Hank will be kicking us off. Thank you. We have President Dan Hansen from Peru State College. And we have Vice Chairman Vincent Bass, who is a member of the Winnebago Tribal Council. So we really are really bringing folks in. We have industry partners, we have bankers, we have lawyers, we have educators, we have folks from the food banks, we have folks from major industries and corporations. It really is pretty amazing. We have NCTA, all of the NU campuses save UNMC, and it was a busy day for them. And we have citizens, we have producers, we have farmers, we have local leaders in our communities. And this was a rough October with all that rain, so we appreciate people coming in from the field. We have folks that drove 7 hours to get here, so I want to say thank you, and it means a lot. The goal today then is to come together as Nebraskans. We mixed you up at your tables by design. I would say the most important thing is that we gain some awareness of some of the critical issues. We chose 4 areas to share a little bit. One of the things I've heard over and over and over every event that I've been at that we've had someone from the university speak is, Mike, we need more people to hear this. And so this is a wonderful vehicle. We have 11 individuals in total from the university, different walks of life. While most are from the Institute of Ag and Natural Resource, this is really about the university. And I think this summit, if it catches on, and if this morning's attendance is any indication, we will grow this summit, and this would be a really neat vehicle to engage with the citizens as the People's University. This is not about it's not about politics. It's not about parochial views. It's not about divisive issues. We could spend a lot of time on that, but I think you're here to focus on one thing, and that's advancing and growing Nebraska. So that's what this is about. I hope, my personal hope, is that you make new connections, that you make friends, that you hear about a vision for a way forward, that you then take home little nuggets and actually incorporate those into your communities. In the Institute at the university, we talk a lot about thinking globally and acting locally. Truth be told, the university acts and thinks both locally and globally, but change really takes place at the local level. And my hope is that we leave here directionally aligned, not in lockstep, but directionally aligned on some of these critical issues, such that we can partner in ways that we maybe aren't partnering enough to actually advance Nebraska for the good of the state. If you've got one of these devices, I'd ask that you put it on silent. I'd love for you to turn it off, and I'd love for it not to be on the table. There's a lot of data, a lot of research that actually says just having a phone on the table during a discussion changes the demeanor of that. Lastly, I would like us all to think about that poem, All I Ever Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, and I would like to think about playing in the sandbox, sharing. I would encourage us all to be curious. I'd encourage us all to listen, to hear, and I would like to make sure that in all of our interactions today, that we leave each other's dignity intact. And I think I'm not worried about this, but I want to say it. So with that, I would just like to say my heartfelt thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll have a session It'll be very interactive. On the KRVN, I said we're not going to talk at you. We're going to talk together. Rick will do a great job. I'm thankful that Rick joined us. And then we'll have a second session. We'll break for lunch. It'll be buffet. We'll eat back in here. After lunch, we have a fireside chat around innovation. We will think about how innovation is critical to growing ourselves out of where we're at and advancing Nebraska. And then we'll end today on global food security, local food security conversation. And when it's all done and you've worked hard, we have Dairy Store ice cream. So go Big Red.